I'm glad to have been invited here, and I'm going to tell you something of a crime story of a guy you should know. His name is Berlusconi.
Extract from Silvio Berlusconi's Italy, the definitive portrait of a godfather, and his country, the all-Italian story of the man who gave us Trump. The first edition was a finalist at the 2015 London Book Fair's competition, The Right Stuff.
These are the overwhelming questions about Silvio Berlusconi that open my book.
Dear English-speaking reader, have you ever heard of a prime minister who says that the judiciary, one of the three pillars of the same democracy the PM personifies, is a cancer of democracy, and that some judges, except the ones he was not able to, allegedly, bribe, are like the Red Brigade's terrorists of the 70s?
Have you ever met a PM who hired a mafioso killer in one of his private luxury mansions for years as a stableman in a house with no horses, or a political party whose ideologist is a former senator sentenced to 7 years in prison for mafia connections?
Have you ever come across a prime minister of a contemporary Western democracy who, while in office in Paris, received an evening phone call from an underworld Brazilian prostitute operating in Milan who had his private mobile number? Have you ever heard of a PM who successfully forced Parliament to vote what all MPs and the whole country knew was a lie? That is the fact that an underage Moroccan girl, Ruby Rubakwari, heart stealer, one of his bunga bunga lovers, was Egyptian ex-President Mubarak's nephew. Would you believe that the damsel in distress Ruby, according to Berlusconi, was a poor girl in need that he helped for charity, inviting her to his Arcor mansion in Milan, bunga bunga official headquarters, since Berlusconi is good at heart and a fervent Christian?
Have you ever seen a PM that, probably trying to turn the truth upside down, had the possibility to broadcast on his own media empire a documentary TV film that manipulates the story behind a trial in which he is the defendant the night before the final court verdict?
Have you ever heard of a senator and previous prime minister who kept his seat for 4 months after being definitively sentenced to prison and banned from public offices in a country in which a law, that he himself voted, says that a condemned MP must lose his position immediately? Have you ever heard of a former PM condemned to 4 years in jail whose real penalty was spending a few hours once a week for a few months in an asylum for elderly people to help patients socialize?
Have you ever seen a convicted politician, sentenced for massive tax fraud, forced to lose his senatorial seat, banned from public offices, defendant in a trial for corrupting an opposition senator, who officially encounters the President of the Republic as party leader in the constitutional meetings to form a new government?
Have you ever heard that the same convicted politician, who had lost the right to vote, was allowed to appear regularly on his TV channels, and on public networks as well, to campaign for the 2014 European elections in which he had been banned as candidate?
Would you believe that in early 2014 the just-elected, revolutionary, left-wing Prime Minister Matteo Renzi, absolute winner of the 2014 European elections, made a deal with convict Berlusconi, absolute loser of the same elections, in order to change the constitution and consequently the democratic balance?
I hope this paper will help you understand why all this has been possible, so that I won't hear the overwhelming questions you have kept asking me for all these years once again.